what you know now, Jerry Alberti, what would you do different?
In the sense of what?
Could be in your life, and it doesn't have to be business. It can be in your life.
Oh, that's an awesome question. I would have probably I started my business when I was 40 years old. I would have probably started my business a little bit earlier too. I think I pushed myself to that brink of possible collapse way too
Yeah,
far into my business. I would have started a little bit earlier when my kids were younger as well, which would have took a lot of pressure off of me as well.
yeah,
I think as far as the business aspect, that there's that, and I'm just glad I went the career route, the salary route, and I didn't start my business too young because I help my clients help solve the problems that were problems for me that I lived through. I've seen the consequences. Consultants get a bad name because they're career consultants. I'm not a career consultant. I've been in the shoes of the very people that are dealing with the very challenges that you're stuck with. So
yeah,
I've seen the consequences of bad decisions, and I've seen the ROI of great decisions. I've
yeah,
lived it,
yeah.
and that's what makes me powerful at what I do. And I think that's what gives me, well, not that I think, I know that that's what gives me a competitive advantage.
Knowing what you know now, what would you do different in life in general?
Well, to be honest with you, what's happening right now, I could never have done years ago. So everything is constantly changing. So I couldn't say 10 years ago, oh, I would be, dealing with AI technology. Couldn't predict that at all.
Yeah,
So everything is changing. So for me, it's about being in the moment. It's really in taking advantage of what's available. Don't, be afraid of AI, embrace it, learn from it,
yeah.
and you can grow. And that's really where I help people to understand it better. And they benefited from the availability of this great new technology, which is making a difference and growing businesses tremendously.
Knowing what you know now, what would you do different?
That's a good question. Would I do anything? I actually don't think.
There, buddy.
I don't think I would do anything different. I think my wrong turn. I often said to people I've had a few wrong turnings in my life. Is that the first one was that taking on the Shanks McCune job at less pay. That was my first wrong turn. My second wrong turn was when I left Bar Environmental running landfill sites, I went to an incineration company that was just a disaster, and I lasted there 4 months. So that was a wrong turn, but that's what made me set up Albion Environmental.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's been a particular wrong turn. I think probably a bit of frustration that the sector's not moved and progressed as much as I sit at meetings. I'm now the old fart that's sitting in the back saying, we were talking about this 20 years ago.
Yeah, still not sorted. Yeah,
which is not maybe a good sign. Maybe I just need to retire now. I'm not quite that age.
Knowing what you know now, what would you do different?
Well, yeah, I was interested. I heard you talk on a podcast recently where you talked about trauma and you talked about your personal circumstances.
That's right. Yeah.
I have whatever similar there. What would I do differently is, with the benefit of what I now know, then I would have sought that type of professional help at that time. That's not in any way saying that's the big issue. It's just one issue.
Yeah.
But so for me, there's no magic wand to this, is there? It's about what can we actually do collectively as, members of the male part of society to actually just open up the conversation to say it's okay. I go to a mental health charity group every 2 weeks now. And I thought to myself, I can't have this without not playing an active role beside what I'm doing for myself. So I go along to that. It's a 2-hour meeting, and you can tell, feel. This week alone, we had 2 guys come in. Both of them had close people to them that had committed suicide in the previous 2 weeks. That's a small group.
Wow.
And I was like, and you realise that there's a lot happening out there. There's all sorts of challenges for people to face into. So, for me, what would I do differently? I think I would have joined in this conversation sooner.
A lot earlier, yeah.
Positive.
But again, it's all self-development, personal development, and you have to invest in yourself. And for you found that the investment was that psychological model needed more tuning. And kudos to you. Knowing what you know now, what would you do different, Dan?
I guess it would be more about the speed to adoption, I suppose. But I'm quite a big believer in the journey you've walked, or the experience. You wouldn't have got to. You may not have got to the same place that you've got to if you haven't gone through the experience that you've gone through. So knowing what I know now, we've gone through growing pains. We've gone through the transfer of stuff. Knowing what I know now would have probably set off in a different direction as we first set up. But again, I wouldn't have got the lessons that I've got from the journey if I did do that.
Well done, well said. I thought you were going to say I should have went back to Manchester a long time ago. Hello, gaffers. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. We love every one of the guests that we have, but in order to bring on more great guests, we'd love to build the channel with you. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and let's create a really great community where we bring in better and better guests for you to deliver great content and great pieces of information that you can take back into your business. Now, back to the podcast. Thank you.